not bad. The difficulty with it is, it doesn't apply within the state. I'll say it again. The fiscal equalisation principle goes across the states. It doesn't apply intra-state. So the $14.85 billion that went back to the Queensland government from Queensland gets distributed by the seats that are below the Tropic of Capricorn. And the difficulty here is, there is no upper house to check it. The second leg of imbalance. Another constitutional issue. So where does it get spent? Marginal seats in the metropolitan area.
So wrong.
Tony Fitzgerald. His inquiry finished in the 90s and he wrote in 2015. Historically, practical democracy for Queensland has consisted of a right to choose between the ALP and the LNP. And whatever party is in power can do as it wants. Why? It's a single House of Parliament. There is no check and balance. There were 11 parliamentary committees in the last Parliament. I'm not sure of the numbers in this one. There were 11. 10 of those committees were chaired by the ALP. The North Queensland state is about change in the distribution of power. That's what it is about. At the federal level, getting senators to represent NQ, and at the state level, government making decisions close to the people. The principle of subsidiarity, as Boffins call it. You make decisions as close to the people they affect as possible. Not 2,000 kilometres away or whatever it is. So how? What are we going to do about it? Australia has created no new state since 1859, according to Geoffrey Flaney. We must miss one of the great advantages of federalism, the competition between states. Well, Pete, how does that play out? Well, I'm a bit of a cricket nut. New South Wales plays Queensland and we have a really good Australian side. So through that competition, we bring the surface. That's sport, Pete, and that's worth about 4 to 5% of GDP, by the way. In Joe Bjelke-Petersen's area, he removed jet duties. The money flowed across the border overnight. It's that federalism which creates the growth and the efficiency. Yeah? It produces men and women who are citizens rather than subjects, and gives government a greater degree of legitimacy. And what is federalism? In the words of Sir Owen Dixon, the Chief Justice of the High Court, it's a demarcation of power. It's a distribution of power. So where does it begin? We're going to have a new state. What are the constitutional requirements? What process needs to be followed for it to occur? Does there need to be a referendum? And if there's a referendum, who votes? The whole country? Everyone in the state, that Queensland, or just the people in the area? This was the issue that drove me to write the paper that you have a copy of. I'm going to go and answer that question because I don't know. The founders of the Constitution were amazing people. I read Quick and Garen's book and their foresight and what they saw coming in the next 100 years was just incredible. Do we have that same kind of visionary people in our parliament today? I'll leave that for you to judge. Chapter 6, new states. They said the federation should grow. And there are 4 sections in chapter 6. 121 is new states may be admitted or established. 122, which is government of territory for the Northern Territory and AC2. The alteration of states, and section 124. I'm going to cut this through very quickly. The 2 sections relevant to the creation of a new North Queensland is 121 and 124. A new state may be formed by separation of territory from a state, but only with consent of the Parliament thereof. So Queensland can split, but it must have the consent of the Queensland Parliament.
That's not going to happen.
We have an answer, don't worry. We've got an approach. And if that happens, then the Commonwealth Parliament may admit that new state. I don't want to talk too much about Patterson and O'Brien, except that in that case there was a challenge to South Australia had given some land away, New South Wales had given some land away and had become the Northern Territory. There are very few cases interpreting chapter 6. And the argument was, well, you altered the limits of the state, so therefore there had to be a referendum. And the High Court said, no. What you need to find is where the source of the initiative to split it must be, and what the powers are there. That's what the court said in Patterson and O'Brien. And if you want to read the detail, it's in my paper. Section 124 is a separate and substantive source of power to initiate the formation of a new state. Right? The Parliament, the Commonwealth Parliament, cannot under 121 exercise it without the prior consent of the state parliament. I don't want to go on, I'll let you read it in the paper. So it's the state parliament. So, the referendum question. Would there need to be a referendum under section 123 and 128? No, for a number of reasons. Based on the reasoning in Patterson, they deal with different matters. If 123 applies conjointly with 121 and 24, there's a double source of power that in law is not okay. And not only that, as Bill talked about earlier, New South Wales has already done this. And all the people that voted were the people in the area to be separated. There's the precedent. If a new state is to be formed from territory within an existing state, it is a matter for the Parliament of the existing state. Summary. It is within the prerogative, the first step towards that vision is to hold a referendum of the people of North Queensland to decide their future. Robbie, in 2016, moved a motion in the Queensland Parliament to establish a commission to establish the boundary for the referendum. 42 members of the Labor Party voted against it, 28 members of the Liberal Party voted against it, and 12 abstained. It's not their issue. It's not for them to decide, it's for us. So if you go and win it, it's about the balance of power. The Labor government currently holds 2 seats, majority, in the 93-seat parliament. Of the 16 seats above the Tropic of Capricorn, there are 10 that are held by the Labor Party, who oppose it. The irony is that 3 motions have been moved in the Queensland Parliament for separation since 1899. All moved by members of the Labor Party. Robbie's in 2016. That's the irony. So the balance of power, it's about, in my mind, it's about 7 seats at the next state election above the Tropic of Capricorn in the balance of power. And then it says, you want supply? You give us the referendum. This is brutal. I'm just being really blunt here. Because there is no way in hell that the cash cow is going to be cut off voluntarily by Brisbane, is it?
Yeah, that's right.
That's just as simple as it is. I want to talk just lastly, this is the referendum for New South Wales, just lastly about this. Because what question that comes up repeatedly, so where will the border be? Oh. Well, in New South Wales, they appointed a Royal Commission who used 7 criteria to draw the boundary. Bill said Newcastle actually defeated it. That's correct. And so why did the Commissioner include Newcastle? In his words, to quote from his report, he said, if I can put Newcastle in New South Wales, that would leave the water catchment of Newcastle in New England and Newcastle in New South Wales. So water becomes a pivotal issue in drawing the boundary. Local governments manage their water. In 2010, 98 of 100 delegates to the North Queensland Local Government Association voted in favour of a new state of North Queensland. It's coming up again in August this year. I don't want to finish off without some reference to the Northern Territory's referendum in 1998. It failed, I think the vote was 51.3%, no vote. The parliamentary committee that came back afterwards said, what was wrong with it? They said, you confounded the question with this kind of parliament, this kind of structure, this kind of state constitution. It should just be a simple question. Do you agree that the Northern Territory should proceed towards statehood? That's it. And then if the answer to that is yes, you sit down in the Constitutional Convention and you design your new system. So the Commission of Inquiry, like New South Wales, to get the boundary, the referendum first, or second, the Commission to establish it, and then the simple question. The capital city, where will the capital be? I'm from South Johnson.
I'm from Greece.
That's my second preference. And what's my first? It's what the people decide. Rockhampton will have probably some word to say about whether Mackay should be the capital or Townsville or Cairns. It's for the people to decide, ultimately.
Charterstown.
In 1898, when the movement was actually quite strong, Salheim was proposed as the capital. I wonder if I may indulge you just one little bit further. What we have is a legacy, legacy of 100 years of losing the upper house, of 96 being, abused by successive governments and whatever. That's what we have. What's the legacy we want to leave for our kids? I'm heavily involved in cricket. 3 or 4 years ago, I went to Brisbane. We sat there, we came second as a zone. Young fast bowler gets aggregate of the week, the average of the week, here's your trophy, the bowler of the week. I read the Queensland team out and his name's not on it. I go, what? So we go and ask them and said, it's just too expensive to keep bringing them down for the training. The steam coming out of my ears. Why don't we have a netball franchise? Why isn't there a soccer franchise in the national competition based here at Cairns with its links into Asia? Why isn't that the case? So what's the legacy we want to leave? 124, there it is. It's about 7. It's about the 7th state. Queensland Parliament, 42 votes against, 28. Enough of the crap. It's not a Brisbane decision. Give us the referendum. It's about the balance of power in the 7 seats. Balance of power, keep that phrase in your head. 7 seats, we've got it. The next election, some seats to think about. Barron River, Thuringowa, Townsville, Mundingborough, Keppel. They are seats to think about as we work towards this. This is a bit cheeky. I hope you bear with me. If you combine the two, what colour do you get? So we make the decisions that affect us. Thank you for your time.